More and more children are out of school, but parents don't want math learning to stop. They're turning to Mathnasium at home. Real-time math instruction tailored to your child's exact educational needs. It's the same face-to-face live instruction used in our centers for over 15 years, now on a computer. Your child can keep their math skills sharp, catch up, or soar ahead, from home or anywhere with an internet connection. To learn if Mathnasium at home is right for your child, visit mathnasium.com/at-home. Mathnasium at home, changing lives through math.
Hello everybody, welcome to Mathnasium Schoolhouse. Happy Monday. Today we are going to be talking about exponents. If you listened to my lessons last week, we did order of operations, and you may have noticed that we left out a key part, and that piece is exponents. So today I want to give an introduction to how those work. So if you haven't had a chance already, go ahead and download the worksheet to go along with today's lesson. It's in the description of the video. And while I give everyone a chance to do that, let me know what your name is, what grade you're in. Also, let me know if you started school back already. I know some people have gone back. Some of us are virtual. Some of us are in person. So go ahead and just let me know how that's going for you too. And we will get started in just a minute. All right, so when we're talking about exponents, you may have seen these before in school. The larger number, or in this case the 3, is what we call the base. So 3 is the base. And the 5, or that number in the superscript, the smaller number up top, is the exponent. So the important thing that we need to know is that the exponent tells us how many times to multiply the base by itself. So 3 with the 5, we read as 3 to the 5th power. So it means we are going to multiply 3 by itself 5 times. So you can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3s. So for these first couple, I don't want to solve it, I just want to write the exponent. So we're going to take the words or the repeated multiplication that we see here, and we're going to turn that into, or we're going to write that as a base with an exponent. So for the first one, we have 9 to the 4th power. So we have 9 to the 4th power. For number 2, 13 to the 6th power. So go ahead, and if you have the worksheet, follow along with me here, and you can fill these out, or you can put your answers in the comments. That would be great as well. So number 3 is 3 to the 10th power. Number 4 is 15 to the 7th power. And now for number 5, we see that it's written as repeated multiplication. So how many 2's do I see there that I'm multiplying? I have 4. So my exponent is 4 and my base is 2. So for number 6, I have a base of 8 and an exponent of 3. All right, good job. Same thing here for number 7 through 14. So I have a base of 4. And let's see, I've got 3, 6. So I've got 4 to the 6th power. Number 8 is 10 to the 4th. Number 9 is 1 to the 7th power. Very good. Number 10 is 6 to the 5th. Number 11, my base is 22, and my exponent is 2. Write that a little bit neater. We're doing okay so far? All right, cool. Number 7 is base of 7 with an exponent of 6, so 7 to the 6th power. Number 13 is 12 to the 3rd. And number 14 is 5 to the 7th. So now we have some practice writing our exponents. Let's start to look at writing them the other way. We're going to write an exponent as repeated addition. As repeated multiplication. And this will help us move towards getting a numeric solution for these exponents. So number 1, I have 7 to the 6th power. So I have 7 multiplied by itself 6 times. So it would look something like that. Number 2 is 6 to the 7th power. So I have 6 multiplied by itself 7 times. So what would that make number 3? Very good. 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. Good job. So number 4 is 10 times itself 4 times. And number 5, lots to write here, 14 multiplied by itself 8 times. I think I got all those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there we go. A little bit of practice writing exponents as repeated multiplication. So now we're going to start solving for the numeric value. So we can see in our examples up top, 2 to the 7th power is 2 times itself 7 times. So I have 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2 is 64, and 64 times 2 is 128. So that's how we go about solving these. So let's look at number 6. For number 6, we have 3 to the 2nd power. So that would just be 3 times 3. We can rewrite it if we need to, and we know that 3 times 3 is 9. So for number 7, we have 5 to the 3rd power. 5 times 5 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 is 15. And 15 times 5 is what? Well, 10 times 5 is 100. And 5 times 5 is 25. If I add those up, I have, very good, 125. Number 4, 2 to the 4th, let's see if we can do that one without writing down the repeated multiplication. So 2 to the 4th would be 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2, very good, is 16. Number 9. 9 to the 3rd. 9 times 9 is 81. What do we think 81 times 9 is? Feel free to write that down in the margins if you need to. But I can go ahead and tell you the answer is 729. For number 10, 7 to the 2nd power is what? 7 times 7 is another way to think about that. Don't be afraid to answer in the comments. It's 49. 2 to the 6th power is 64. So what do I think number 12 is? Three to the 4th power. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. 12 to the second power is 12 times 12, or 144. And for number 14, it's an interesting problem. We have 1 to the 109th power, which means we have 1 times 1, 109 times. So what if I asked you what 1 times 5 was? We know that that is what? Very good, that's 1. So anything, 1 times anything, I should say. Yeah, very good. The answer is 1. All right, and what about number 8? I'm sorry, number 15. 0 to the 8th power. What is 0 to the 8th power? Well, 0 times 0 is 0 times 0 would still be 0. So no matter how many times you multiply 0 by itself, you get 0. Good job. All right, number 16. 10 times 10 times 10. Yep, is 1,000. And 8 squared. 8 to the second power, 8 to the power of 2 is 64. Good job. All right, a couple more of these solving for the numeric value. 9 squared is what? 9 times 9 is 81. You might have listened a while back, actually, to a lesson I did about multiplication mastery. It was actually a full series that we did, 3 full videos. Maybe you're having a little bit of trouble with these multiplication facts. That's okay. Feel free to go back and watch those videos. We have some really great strategies on how to handle your multiplication facts. With that said, number 2, we want to go ahead and write this out. I saw a couple more people join. So we have a strategy if we need that we can write our exponents as repeated multiplication. So 3 to the power of 3. I know that's 3 times 3 times 3 is what? Very good. 27. Number 10. Number 3. I keep messing that up. Number 3 is 10 to the second power, and 10 times 10, very good, is 100. Number 4, we talked about this. No matter how many times I multiply the number 1 by itself, what do I have? Yep, very good. I still have 1. I think I'm missing 1 there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Number 5. 4 to the third power. Very good, is 64. And 2 to the fourth power is what? 16. Nice job. All right. Number 7. 10 to the 7th power. A little bit of a strategy that you can use when you're multiplying 10 by itself multiple times, if you're doing 10 with exponents, is that we have our number 1, and then we're going to have 7 zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't forget you have to add your commas, so we have 100 million for our answer. And the reason that this works is, say, if I ask you what 10 times 10 was, I know that that's 100. And another way to write 10 times 10 is 10 squared. So I have my 1 with 2 zeros. And I could say the same for 10 to the 5th then, correct? I have 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which would then be what? Very good, 100,000. So a little bit of a strategy there when working with tens and exponents. So let's go ahead and wrap this page up and do number 8. So it is 7 to the 3rd power. $343. Okay. Number 9. What is 11 times 11? We can start there, right? If we need to write this out, we totally can. That's fine. First day working on this. 11 times 11, very good, is 121 times 11 gives us 1,331. Number 10 is 2 to the 5th power. 2 times itself 5 times. It's 32. Nice job. Number 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Times 6. 36 times 6 is 216. Number 12. We can use our little strategy here, and I know that that's 10,000. Very nice. Number 11. 2 to the 6th. Oops. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16. Times 2 is 32. Times 2, very good, is 64. So it's totally acceptable to just work your way through that repeated multiplication to get to your answer. It's definitely a great way to do it. Number 14, 5 to the 4th. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is, 625. Nice job. Number 15. This one I want you guys to think about a little bit before you start to work anything out. Good. If I know that 10 cubed is 1,000, I don't want to fill in those zeros quite yet. And 10 squared is 100. And 10 to the 1st is 10. So I had 1,000. I had 100. And I had 10. 10 to the 3rd power, 10 to the 2nd power, 10 to the 1st power. Good job. All right, so let's do number 16. 6 to the 2nd power is 36, plus, we know that 1 with any exponent is still 1. And then looking at 3 to the 3rd power, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So if I add all of that up, what do I get? Nice job, I get my answer of 64. So we can see how that stuff starts to work now. with order of operations, right? We have to do our exponents before we can add any of those things because we wouldn't get the right answer if we didn't. All right, I want to grab one more page for us to work from. And I think I want to, because you guys are super smart, I want to look at some of these. We'll call them challenge problems. So what do we think about number 14? So what if I asked you what 2 to the 5th was? Yeah, very good. That would be 32. So if I have 20 to the 5th, essentially we can think of this as what's 10 to the 5th? $100,000. So do we think that a good, I can't get my commas in the right spot. I think that 3,200,000 is a reasonable solution. Yeah, I would say so. Number 15. Number 15, 1/2 to the 3rd power. And you might not have gotten to fraction multiplication yet. But that's all right. So what am I asking you if I have 1/2 times 1/2? Means I have 1/2 a many times. Because if I asked you what 1/2 times 2 is, you could say that I'm asking you what 1/2 twice is, and 1/2 twice is a whole, so a half of a time, 1/2 of a half is a 4th. So then if I ask you what a 4th, a 1/2 of a time is, you would say 1/8. So that's how we can work through there. So similarly, if I look at 3/10 multiplied by itself 3 times, very bright you are, 27 hundredths is a great solution. Nice job. And our last one here, number 17. -1 multiplied by itself 5 times. You may have heard that a negative multiplied by a negative is a positive. So -1 times -1 is +1. Times -1 gets me back to -1. Times -1 gets me to +1. And multiplied by -1 again for that final time, I wind up with my solution of -1. So that is all we have for today. Thank you guys for joining. There's a couple extra problems in that packet if you are interested in working through this some more. Otherwise, we will see you on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific for our second lesson of the week. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you enjoyed this, share this with your friends. We'd really appreciate it. If Mathnasium is something you want to learn more about, go to mathnasium.com. You can find your local learning center. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
It's afternoons that seem to be the most hectic for us, so it was much more convenient when we found Mathnasium at home.
All right, so how do we do half of 5? I think one of the best things about at home is that it really feels like you're almost at home with the student in their house teaching them.
I'm in my comfort zone.
You can just ask for help and the instructor will come right to you.
With Mathnasium at home, I know that they're getting the help that they need.
Awesome, great job.
Mathnasium, changing lives through math.